Hello to everybody. My name is Michael Babayev. I'm Neurosoft company product manager for EMG and EP. And today I'll tell you a little bit about our new EMG machine, Litebox. Here it is, our new machine. It is all-in-one. It is 3-channel EMG machine, and it has 3 amplifier channels. You can see here, each channel has a DIN and a touch-proof connector. Also, we have a touch-proof here for the ground, for common wire. From the other side, you can see trig in and trig out. So this device can work with stimulators from other companies. Here, there is a connector for patient button, for P300, for example, evoked potentials. Then we have special plug for headphones, for auditory evoked potentials. Then plug for foot switch. So with this device, you can work with a foot switch. And here it is a special connector for our visual stimulators. So you can connect LED goggles or reversal pattern stimulator to this device. And only one cable for power supply and data. It is not necessary for this device to have some additional power supply and some additional wires. Only one cable. For this cable goes data and the device gets its power. So it's very easy to connect and to work. And here it is electrical stimulator output. Electrical stimulator has 2 outputs, DIN and touch-proof. So you can think about these electrical stimulators as 2 electrical stimulators because of 2 outputs. Because you can at the same time stimulate 2 upper limbs or 2 lower limbs and simultaneously record, for example, massive sensory evoked potentials from both sides of the patient. And here it is device keyboard. A lot of knobs, very useful for fast work of the doctor. It is the first version of the device. You can see white buttons. Now we have colored buttons. I show you later. And also we have here a special screen, colored screen, on what you can see in parameters of electrical stimulation. And also today we'll talk a little bit about our new fork electrical stimulator that can be connected to the Litebox. It can work with this device. You can see here a lot of useful buttons. And it has also special part that you can change the angle of these sticks. So very easy to change the angle and to stimulate in different parts of the body. So it is very small and very useful. Also later, I'll tell you it into the presentation. And now I would like to start my presentation. Here it is. You can see here in the screen the last design of our Litebox device. You can see these colored buttons. And here it is some description of the device. And maybe you can ask us what is the big difference between this new Litebox device and our previous, very famous, our bestseller Neuro-MEP-Micr device. What has the same size, but it has only 2 channels. Also, the big difference is that Neuro-MEP-Micr has 2 channels and Litebox has 3 channels. Also, Litebox has 2 additional knobs. You can see one of them, it is a special knob for changing the side. So it's possible during the examination, very fast change the side. Now, and also one additional F8 functional button. Also, you can see very important characteristics, very important parameters of the devices. One of them, it is a noise, internal noise. Here it is noise in microvolts, RMS, root mean square. And you can see Neuro-MEP-Micr has noise 0.5 but Litebox has 0.4. But in reality, we get near 0.3. So it's very, very low level. Another very important parameter for the device is CMRR, or common mode rejection ratio. It is about how device can reduce noise from interference noise, so noise from the power supply, 50 Hz or 60 Hz. And in Neuro-MEP-Micr, it is 100 decibel, and in Litebox, it is 110. In Litebox, it's 10 decibel bigger, but 10 decibel means 3 times better. So the interference from the main supply in Litebox will be 3 times lower than in the Neuro-MEP-Micr. And in this situation, I can tell you some small story about one doctor that previously worked on some EMG brand, great brand of EMG machine. And then this doctor toggled to our Litebox. And when doctor input a needle into the muscle, he saw without noise flat line. And at first, doctor thought that device is faulty because there is no noise. But after it, doctor saw some spontaneous activity, and after it, doctor was shocked because at first he thought that it is faulty device, but it is working device, very, very low noise. So doctor was very shocked, and he wrote this feedback and sent it to us, and we put it on our site. Let's continue our presentation. Another very important parameter is DC phase rejection. It is about what can be the maximum polarization of the electrodes. Neuro-MEP-Micr can work with the electrodes polarization up to 300 microvolts, but Litebox can work with the polarization up to 500 microvolts. Also in Litebox, we put some special features. One of them, it is hardware stimulus artifact reduction. It is special electronic scheme that suppress stimulus artifact. And we made it first time in our history. It is first device. Also in Litebox, we have bipolar electrical stimulus. When first part of the stimulus can be, for example, plus, and another will be minus. It is also useful for suppress of the stimulus artifact. You can ask us, for example, why 3 channels for EMG machine? There are few reasons for it. First of them, there are 3 types of the different electrodes what each doctor use. First type of the electrode, it is surface electrodes for motor conduction velocity, for example. Another type of the electrodes is rings on the finger for sensory conduction velocities. And third of them, it is needle electrode. All these types of the electrodes has their own cables. And during one examination, usually doctor need to go from one type of the electrodes to another. And if you, for example, has only 2 channels, it is necessary to reconnect cables during one examination. But here, when you have 3 channels and 3 cables, you can connect them forever. If you do only EMG examination, it is not necessary to reconnect. It is not time consuming. And another reason about recording of somatosensory work potentials. You know, if you use, for example, 2-channel EMG device, it is not enough. Because, for example, if you stimulate in upper limbs, you have to record signal from the ERGS point, from cervical, and from cortical, 3 channels at least. And with 2-channel device, it's necessary to make 2 recordings. It is time consuming and it is painful for the patient. But with the Litebox, for example, you can put 3 channels on the three parts of the human body and record 3 channels at the same time. And now about a few words about our stimulating probe tool. New stimulating probe that I previously have shown you. At first, I have to tell you that it doesn't have CE mark now. We have a CE mark for Litebox, we have a Russia certificate for Litebox, but just for now, we doesn't have certificate CE for the stimulation probe. But I don't know, maybe in your country it is possible to sell without CE certificate, maybe. So this new stimulation probe is much better than previous. For example, here you can see previous one. It is bigger. It is not so much convenient, and it has not enough knobs and buttons to work with. With new one, we have additional buttons. You can change stimulus intensity here. You can start single or repetitive stimulation. You can change stimulus polarity. You can go to the next trace. And also you have special 2 buttons, functional buttons that can permit you to go to another stimulation site and moreover to another techniques. So from this probe, you can work without go to the mouse, to the computer device keyboard, because there is enough knobs to do it. And that's all I would like to tell you about the hardware. And now let's go to the software. I will tell you a few words about how to work with our program. Here it is a label for our program. To start it, we have to make a mouse double click. Program starts. It is a standard Windows program. It has a main menu here with a lot of commands and toolbars with the buttons. Buttons only duplicate some menu commands. Some other buttons, and here you can see exam manager with previously done examinations. How to create new examination? Very easy. There are a few ways to do. We can, for example, click here exam new, or use this big button, or only press F2 button on the keyboard or on the device. Okay, we start new examination. Here we have to input some patient name, then patient sex and birthday. For birthday, it is necessary only to type 6 digits. Now it is day, month, for example, and year. And that's all. Only type 6 digits without any other delimiters. If you would like to make F-wave, it's necessary to input patient height, because some reference values depends on the height. It is not necessary to input all data. You can click now OK, and we start new examination. And here in clinical info field, you can input some anamnesis and some other data of the patient. And then we have to start a new technique. Here it is toolbar that permits us to make it very fast. For example, we have to select now what technique we will do, what muscle and nerve we will examine, and what side of the patient. 3 choices. But these 3 choices can be done with only 2 mouse click. 1 mouse click technique, for example, motor conduction velocity, and other mouse click will be muscle nerve and side. Only 2 mouse clicks, and we select technique, muscle nerve, and patient side. Now we can start examination. And if you, for example, don't remember where to place electrodes, recording and stimulating, you can press F1 key on the keyboard and see this help window with detailed information. I have to tell you that this window is for additional payment. It is not very big, but you have to understand it is additional payment with all detailed information. Then you place all electrodes on the patient and start acquisition. Now we can start acquisition. Now I will turn on special demo mode. in this demo mode, I can work, can get good responses without patient. It is useful when you make some demonstration. You can see demo mode now. I start acquisition here. Then I can change the velocity. I can do it with the device, only rotating the knob. I rotate the knob. As you can see, the amplitude of the response become higher. Then you click OK to put this response into analysis. Then I start another stimulation from the device. OK. Also, I can change stimulus intensity and then save it into analysis. OK, now we have two good responses, and you can see that all markers are placed automatically, but if you do not like the position, you can change it with the mouse very easy or from the device. Also, some parameters, amplitude, latencies, and velocities is calculated automatically. Only for velocity, you have to check the distance. By default, we have one, but it is necessary to measure and to input the real distance. Then we can go to another test, for example, with link test, go to F-wave, start acquisition here. As you can see, it is very easy and fast. We can record data. Then, for example, we can go to quantitative EMG if we would like to record use needle EMG and record multi-unit potentials or interference pattern. And in our system, also there is a special help window where to put a needle. We have automatic system. It is not use some triggers and some other very complex tools that some other EMG machines have. You only need to put electrode into the muscle and start acquisition. And as a doctor only would like to watch the color of these buttons, you can see it's green, so the needle is in the right place, and we can start acquisition. All is done automatically. You can see two good multi-unit potentials. We can put them into analysis and start another acquisition. Also, I would like to show you that our device can work in noisy circumstances. Here it is some noisy trace that from the real patient. And you can see in this situation, in very noisy signal, our program can select some multi-unit potentials. Only some of the colors is black or yellow because it is not very good quality. But in this situation, we can start acquisition and get a very good quality signal. Okay, you can make a lot of some examinations, and at the end, to create a report, you only have to click one button, this one. We click this button, and program generate a report with all necessary information. It is automatically with tables, pictures, traces, and so on. After it, you only have to print the report and close the examination. What techniques can be done with the device? A lot of. You can do near 50 different EMG techniques. You can see from the nerve conduction study, motor, sensory conduction velocity, F-wave, H-reflex, motor and sensory inching. From electromyography, it is quantitative EMG. Or you can, for example, would like to make separately spontaneous activity, multi-unit potentials, interference test, macro EMG. Also, we have special tests for surface EMG and quick EMG special test when in one window you can do a lot of different muscles. For neuromuscular junction, we have repetitive stimulation, jitter test, also stimulation jitter. For Muni techniques, incremental map decomposition, Munix, very popular now technique, and CMAP scan, new one technique. Some additional tests, some reflexes, blink reflex, sacral reflex, T reflex, R3 nociceptive reflex, heart rate variability, and so on. Also, if you buy magnetic stimulator from our company, you can do a lot of different magnetic stimulations. Also with this device, with the Litebox, it's possible to make evoked potentials, visual evoked potential for flash and for pattern, auditory evoked potentials, somatosensory, and moreover, some cognitive evoked potentials also can be done with this device. Okay, that's finish of my demonstration.